Welcome to the deep dive. We got a really interesting set of materials today, all focused on Avius AI. Looks like we have info on their features, their customer service approach, website details, even some tech specs.
That's right. And our job, really, is to sift through all this and figure out what it actually means for a business, like yours, perhaps. How could this Avius AI tech actually, change things?
Okay, let's dig in. So, one of the big headlines seems to be this always-on capability. They're talking 247, 365 across web, phone, chat. That sounds pretty impactful for any business wanting to catch every lead.
It really does. And it's not just being available, it's the scale. They mentioned handling, what, 200 calls at the same time?
Wow, 200.
Yeah. Think about that. Missed calls, customers waiting forever. That potentially just goes away. It sort of flicks the script, doesn't it? You worry less about handling calls and more about getting them in the first place.
That's a huge shift in perspective. It's like taking the brakes off growth, in a way.
Yeah.
The info suggests businesses can then focus more on advertising, knowing they can actually handle the response.
Exactly. It's about capacity. And it's not just local either. They mention toll-free U.S. numbers, sure, but also international numbers. Australia, Canada, Germany, the UK, quite a list.
Global reach.
So if you're operating internationally or, thinking about it, that's a big plus. Accessibility.
Okay, so availability is one thing. But what about the experience? Nobody likes talking to a clunky robot. They stress this human-like interaction, voice and chat. What does human-like AI actually deliver for a business?
Well, that's the key question, isn't it? The focus seems to be on building trust, making it feel natural. They mentioned specific tech, voice AI, AI chatbots, voice chat, AI text-to-speech. It sounds like they're aiming for something much smoother than, those frustrating automated systems we've all dealt with.
Right.
The goal seems to be an AI that understands context, responds naturally, almost like another member of your team, hopefully leading to happier customers, not frustrated ones.
Definitely. A bad AI interaction is worse than none sometimes. They also talk about smart workflows and routing calls efficiently. How does that work in practice?
Think of it like a smart switchboard operator. The AI doesn't just answer, it figures out why the customer is calling and sends them down the right path.
Okay.
You can customize these paths, these actions. So maybe simple queries get handled automatically, but specific requests go straight to sales or support or wherever they need to go. It streamlines things from just being a virtual receptionist to maybe even automating big chunks of your contact center.
So it understands the intent and acts on it. That sounds like a win for efficiency and for the customer not getting bounced around.
Precisely.
Now, another thing that caught my eye was the branded customer experience.
Yeah.
Using AI to reflect your brand. How do they manage that?
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. They talk about customizing the AI's voice, creating a unique voice that actually sounds like your company.
Huh. A specific voice.
And it's not just the voice. The chatbot, the messaging across channels, it's all meant to be consistent, reflecting your brand's personality, its values. So whether someone calls or uses the website chat, they get a feel for your specific brand. It's about making the AI feel like a true extension of the company.
That's quite sophisticated. Building brand consistency even through automation. Okay, what about reliability?
Yeah.
Business continuity. What happens if the power goes out or it's after hours?
Good question. Integration seems key here. Avius AI is designed to plug into existing systems, unified communications, contact center platforms, UCaaS or CCaaS.
Right.
So you can set rules. Like if the phone rings more than, say, 3 times, or if it's outside business hours, bam, the call automatically goes to the Avius AI. Ensures you don't just lose that customer.
A safety net.
Exactly. And they even mentioned that if your business runs mostly on mobiles, you can likely still use call forwarding to the AI, depending on your carrier, of course. It's about making sure you're always covered.
So it fills the gaps. Makes sense. Technology changes so fast, though. How does Avius AI keep up? Is it something you have to constantly manage yourself?
They address that. They talk about continuous development, always working on improving the conversational AI, the voice tech, and they emphasize testing things thoroughly before release, which is reassuring. Crucially, they call it a managed solution. That basically means it comes ready to go, fully developed. You don't have to build it or maintain the core tech. They have a support team for moves, adds, changes, all that stuff.
So less technical burden on the business owner.
Seems like it. And setup sounds easy too.
Yeah.
No big software install for the voice part, apparently just a simple code snippet, a widget for the website chatbot.
Okay, convenient. Let's break down the core features they list. We've got voice, Website chatbot, call summary emails, customer texts, and customization. Can we go through those quickly?
Sure. Voice is that 24/7 AI call handling we discussed.
Right.
Eliminates staffing worries for phone support, lets you define exactly how calls flow. It can be your virtual receptionist or handle deeper interactions.
Got it. And the chatbot.
The website chatbot is about engaging visitors instantly. It's not just sitting there. It's capturing leads, asking qualifying questions, maybe even booking appointments right then and there.
So it's an active tool, not just passive info.
Exactly. Then actionable call summary emails. These sound quite detailed full call transcripts thanks to audio to text. Gives you real insight into what customers are actually saying.
Like getting meeting minutes for every call.
Kind of, yeah. And building on that is the smart automated post-call customer action text. This is cool. Based on the conversation, the AI can automatically send a follow-up text or email, maybe a link to book a meeting or a form they need to fill out.
So it closes the loop automatically based on what was discussed. That's smart.
Very efficient, keeps the momentum going. And finally, customization. This seems to be woven through everything.
Right, they really emphasize this. How deep does it go?
Apparently, very deep. They claim the conversational AI can be so tailored, customers might not even know it's AI. You give them your scripts, your knowledge base, your brand guidelines.
Your specific instructions.
Exactly. And they build your AI. You can set rules for transferring calls, like if someone mentions a specific competitor or asks for a particular person, you can add multiple emails to get the summaries. And they mention the compliance piece too, 10D-LCA2P registration for texting. It's all about making it fit your business perfectly.
It sounds very thorough, covering the practical angles.
Okay.
Okay, quickly then, the tech side. They mentioned Google Cloud. What does that mean for the user?
Basically, it means reliability and scalability. They're using Google's infrastructure, dedicated interconnect, load balancing, CDN. Think of it like building on a super solid foundation that can handle huge amounts of traffic globally.
So it won't crash if you suddenly get busy.
That's the idea. Google's network puts the service close to users for speed. The CDN caches content. It's all designed for high performance. They mention Node.js, Vue.js standard stuff for the tech folks, and they reiterate that 200 simultaneous call capacity. One key point. Because it's so custom, each business gets its own separate AI agent. But if you have multiple brands, they can duplicate the basic setup and then tweak it for each one.
Gotcha. Built on solid tech, highly customized.
Yeah.
So for someone listening now thinking, this sounds interesting, what's the next step? How do they learn more or see it in action?
Clear calls to action provided. You can go to aviusai.com. Simple enough. You can book an appointment right there on the website.
Okay.
Or you can call them, 855-284-8196. And here's a neat trick. When you call that number, you can actually ask the AI itself to run a demo specifically for your type of business and your role.
Talk to the AI to get a demo of the AI.
Exactly. A pretty direct way to experience it firsthand.
That is clever. Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive on Avius AI, if you had to boil it down, what are the standout benefits for a business looking at this?
Well, synthesizing it all, I'd say number one is that huge boost in customer service availability. Being there 24/7 is massive. Then, the push for genuinely human-like AI interactions. That's about building better relationships. Third, streamlining workflows and routing inquiries smartly. That's efficiency and better customer journeys. Fourth, the branded experience making the AI truly yours. And fifth, that business continuity, the peace of mind knowing you're always covered.
Plus the managed solution aspect, taking work off their plate.
Absolutely. That underpins it all. Ongoing improvement, full support, ready to go.
So it really does sound like more than just answering calls. It's potentially a way to reshape customer interaction.
Which leads us to that final thought for the listener, doesn't it? Really think about it. If you had this kind of 247 AI handling customer interactions, documenting everything, how would that fundamentally change your business? What could your team achieve if they were freed up from those routine tasks? What new opportunities might open up? That's the really provocative question here.